having a look at solving this cubic from a few different perspectives. So before we look at that, I want you to look at, let's say, number 30. If I said 2 times 5 times what gives me 30? Would you really go, oh, 2 into 30 goes 15? And then 5 into the 15 goes 3, so the other one is 3. That's the long way. To get each factor, like to take one factor and just divide it in. That is actually the long way to do it. What you could do is multiply your two factors. So, this is fast to multiply them. If it was algebra, it might take me a minute. So 2 times 5 is 10. And then you divide your two multiplied factors into the 30, and that would give you 3. So keep that in mind. When we go back here, if I want to maybe find a factor, I can throw this into my calculator. And I'm throwing in x cubed plus 8 x squared minus x minus 8. I'm going to go from minus 3 up to 3. I'm going to go up in whole numbers. When I do that, I'm looking for, if it's a root, then it's where it cuts the x-axis. So we're looking for the y to be 0. There's 1. X equals minus 1. So my option is I don't look any further and I just go, right, if that's a factor, then that's my root. Do my long division. I end up with x squared up there. And then there's my quadratic. So I solve my quadratic and I get my other 2 roots. I expect 2. So factors of 8, subtract to give me 1. So I have x is equal to minus 8 and x is equal to 1. Now, let's look at it from another perspective. If I had continued to scroll down here, I would have seen, okay, yeah, minus 1 is a root. But also 1 is a root. So why don't I use this concept? That if minus 1 is a root and 1 is a root, I'll use what I know to change them into factors. What did I do with my 2 factors up here? I multiplied those together and then divided in to find my 3rd factor. Why don't I do that here? Why don't I multiply my 2 factors together I end up with a quadratic. It's not very long. But rather than, dividing the 2 into the 30 and then the 5 into the 30, or, all I did earlier on was I found one root, so I had a factor, and I just straight away divided that factor in, and then I had to solve this quadratic. Now what's after happening is I used the fact that I could just multiply my factors and divide it in. So there's my two factors multiplied. And now I'm going to divide this into my cubic. It's just another option. And sometimes I will need this option. And also, it should actually be the fastest option. This is the slow option. Multiplying them together and dividing them in to be left with one root should be the faster option. So what do I multiply x squared by to give me this? An x. That gives me x cubed minus x. Now, you know, there's a 0 or a plus 8x squared there. So I'll be subtracting these. So that's gone. There's no x squared to minus from that, and that's gone. They actually nicely cancel out. And I'm left to take down the rest of my sum. What do I multiply x squared by to give me an 8? X squared, a plus 8. Much shorter long division. There's my other factor. There's my last root.